My name is Brandon, one of your hosts. I'm here as always with Pat and Tyler over there. Tyler's running that Roland. He's our producer, doing a great job as always, just running that board. A lot of fun over there. A little late tonight, that's all right. Always hectic. We've always got customers right up until the last minute trying to buy things, trying to get their little slice of freedom, whatever we can get here in New York, right?
We're live on YouTube.
We are live on YouTube. So
Facebook, we're going to continue to work.
All right. Well, that's all right. Well, hey, all one of you that's on YouTube, probably. That's okay.
There is literally
one guy. You know, you mean everything to us right now. You are it.
You're all the audience.
You're all I've got, and that means the world to me. Josh is trying to sneak through everybody. Just
you gotta pee.
Oh my gosh.
2, 1.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another weekly Firing Pin live stream. My name is Brandon, one of your hosts, and I am joined, as always, by Pat and Tyler. Tyler's over there running the board. Pat's all geared up. We've got a lot to talk about, as always, this week, and it has been an exciting week here at the Pin. As always, we've been, busy. We've got customers here right up until the last minute. We're trying to set these cameras up and usher them out the door and, hey, don't trip on this, don't trip on that. So yeah, always fun. How was your week? I hope everybody is doing good. Things have, continued on their 2020 trajectory, I guess, as things will, lots of craziness out there, right? So we're just here to, bring your spirits up, hopefully, and just bring a little bit of joy, spark some joy in your life. And we're going to talk about guns and gear, radios, and whatever else you want to talk about. Hit us up in the comments. As always, we've got giveaways. I think this week we've got donuts that someone very graciously donated to us, which is awesome. And yeah, I guess right off the bat, we posted a video over on the Attica 462575 page, our radio page, right? We try not to flood this too much with radios because I know it's not everybody's thing. But obviously, it's something we're trying to push. We've really gotten into them. And we think it's a great tool, another tool in the kit for all of you Second Amendment activists out there. We love them. We did a review, pretty cool, Retevis, a top Chinese manufacturer of these radios. They sent us 2 of these radios to review, and we did a full review over on that other channel. And go check it out. And we have a YouTube channel, Off Grid Comms. If you just type that in, we've got a YouTube channel, and we've got there's only the company has a video out on this radio, and we've got a video out on this radio, and that's about it right now. So the Retevis RT76P, go watch our video. We had a lot of fun. We were throwing it up in the air. We were trying to break this thing. We were doing terrible, abusive things to this radio. They'll probably never work with us again, that company, which is not true. They actually sent us a message, an email that they loved the video. They absolutely loved it. So yeah, go check that out. And yeah, I guess we've got a lot to discuss. Pat and Tyler, you guys want to say hello? Jump in.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. How's it going tonight? As you can see, I'm all kitted up. We were going to do a little discussion this evening about some of our gear. What are we using? What are some of the things that we recommend? What
swing line
staplers. Swing line staplers all day.
Ever since I saw Office Space.
Right?
Back in the day.
My 3-line stapler. tried the red.
I want to get the red one. Yeah, classic.
For sure. So, while Tyler is over there doing his producer thing and fielding some of your awesome questions and comments, keep those things coming for us, by the way. I'll just go ahead and get right into it, right? And I'll discuss a little bit about some of the stuff that I'm wearing, and maybe we can get into some of the why. And if you guys have any questions about hey, why? Go ahead and ask Tyler, and if he sees something pertinent, he'll go ahead and chime in there, and we'll get that question answered for you. So right off the bat,
can I talk about the giveaway first?
Oh, by all means.
I mean,
there's a
I don't
giveaway.
mean to rush you, Ty.
We do giveaways.
Giveaways This
is our show.
All right, guys. This giveaway, we're giving away a Baofeng UV5R. These things are pretty cool. These are the backpack radios of choice. I have 2 of these. My grandma has one. I have one that I just keep in my, my bug out bag. So if you want to win one of these guys, totally, programmed for all of our repeaters and stuff, I will be choosing one of you guys live tonight. I'll be choosing one live, so make me remember your name. Comment, ask questions, comment on other people's stuff, reply to other people's stuff. Have fun in the chats, guys. That's what they're for. I am not limiting any of your chats, so please go Buck Watkins. Other than that, I think
That's going to be a mistake.
Pat.
Yeah.
It's going to be mostly.
Let's have fun.
I feel like we're gonna end up in a Grantham situation.
We'll write that down. Yeah.
The comment section is a wasteland
Don't-
of
yeah.
debauchery and whatever. So, Tyler, with your permission, I'm gonna go ahead. All right, cool.
Okay.
So let me talk a little bit about my plate carrier setup here, guys. So this is a Chase Tactical low visibility plate carrier. And what does that low visibility mean? So when I want to go slick, right? If I want to take all of my stuff off of this so that I can just put on like a nice button-down shirt like this, maybe a windbreaker, something of that nature, a winter coat, right?
Mhm.
If I was wearing this body armor with appropriate attire over the top of it, Brandon, you would never know that
Right,
I had it on,
right.
right? Now with magazine pouches and things like that in the front, those can obviously get a little bit obtrusive. They can get in the way. They can stick out like a sore thumb. But with this carrier, rather, the cool thing about this carrier is
Yeah, I like those slots over there. That's pretty
I have 3 slots on either side of my cummerbund. So it can be a little bit of a chore to get the magazines in, right? But once you've got the magazines in, they come out pretty easily. So
They just hold so close.
and they're
to you, too,
very
yeah.
tightly secured against my body, right? So when I have my arms down, you would have no idea. I could have 6 magazines,
Mhm.
or like we've done in the past when we've gone to different places and we have to use, or potentially we might be wearing this stuff and we want to keep it a little bit more concealed.
Mhm.
I've done this plate carrier with multiple different magazine pouches and a radio at the
You're
same
right.
time,
Yep,
right?
tucks right in
So
there.
I can tuck the radio right into one of these mag pouches here, and now I've got comms on my body. And again, I can cover it up with an overgarment. And if you didn't know what you were looking
Right.
at,
The normal person would have no idea.
you would have no idea, right? So that is one of the reasons why I really like a setup like this. And you guys may remember myself and Sniper Dan, we did a similar show one evening where we talked a little bit about our stuff, and he had a very similar setup. He had the Faro Concepts Slickster. Josh and Josiah, similarly, they run T3 Concepts, I believe is the name of the company that makes their Tomahawk plate carriers. And they really like those as well. They're all kind of similar to this. OD green. Some of them will have an admin pouch up here. I've also got my little dangler that I put on the front with just a little Velcro guy. So my admin pouch is actually hanging down here, which is normally empty real estate anyway, right? I don't have a lot of stuff like on the front of my belt where I would need to access it, and that's going to get in my way, right? So I like to, some guys will go like, rifle mag pouches here, and then maybe they'll have kangaroo type pouches with pistol mags on the front too. One of the reasons that I stay away from that is because I really want to be able to, if I have to prone out, I want to get as low to the ground as possible, right? And I want as minimal amount of stuff in the front here as I can get away with.
Makes a lot of sense.
So I try to kind of distribute my load. When I was a younger guy, I didn't really care as much about stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I would go, 6 mag pouches on the front here.
Sure.
And now I'm very front heavy and I'm very fat up here, like just trying to maneuver around.
Like you said, going prone.
Going prone was a huge pain, right? I was also a machine gunner for a long time when I was in the Army. So being up in a machine gun turret, when you're wearing your body armor and you've got all your mag pouches in the front, you're really cramped up in there. It's very difficult to get in and out of vehicles and things of that nature. So that's one of the reasons why, as I've gotten a little bit older and smarter, I've learned to distribute my load a little bit differently, so I don't have to fight with my gear all the time.
Yeah,
right?
that makes sense. That's, I got to say, that's one of the reasons we love having you as our lead instructor in this regard. I mean, you've been there, you've done that, you've put this gear through its paces over, 10 plus years. Like, you've really used this gear. It's, that's not, and we've said this before, that's one of the downsides of kind of getting into this hobby or going down these roads. I mean, yeah, you can buy the right one the first time, but chances are you're gonna have to go through several iterations of gear before you find what works for you. We're just all different. Our missions are different. Our goals are different. Our budgets are different.
Yeah, everybody's going to be looking to get a different kind of type of use out of this, right? So for what I'm looking for my setup to do, let's talk about some of the reasons why I might want to wear this, right? One reason I might want to wear this in like a low vis type of setting is if myself and my family have to move from somewhere that we don't think is maybe safe to an area that's maybe more safe, and we don't want to attract a lot of attention.
Yeah,
but we want to be safe.
Gray man
Absolutely
is the best way to go.
So that we can kind of blend in, right? So having something like this that can easily be covered up. I don't have to be all kitted up and wearing like a Kevlar helmet and all of the accoutrement that goes with it, right? I can have something like this. I can be protected from ballistic threats. I can have a concealed handgun on me, so I have a way to fight if I need to. I can have my gun broken down or in like some kind of bag, so it's a little bit more, obstructed or what's the word, unobtrusive, and all of that stuff,
but still accessible.
Still accessible, right? We can still get to that thing in the event that we need it, right? So
that's why I've gone ahead. I bought a bunch of like pro Hillary, pro Bernie shirts because but you're wearing that grunt style shirt. I'm still gonna know. So I got like a Hillary shirt that I wear.
There you go, absolutely. Or like a guitar case with like Biden stickers all over it, and then it's like, hey, what's in there? It's just my guitar. And play you some music.
So, dude, yeah, exactly. Play you the music of my people.
Play you the song of my people. Right.
Sorry.
So that's a little bit about like the plate carrier side of things. Now let's talk a little bit about the belt side. Everybody's always asking about different belt setups and stuff like that. And so this is kind of my thing. This is kind of my belt setup, right? This is a G-code belt. I've got some Grey Ghost Gear pistol magazine pouches. I got some High Speed Gear Taco rifle mag pouches. Absolutely fantastic. I've got a North American Rescue first aid pouch. Notice that my first aid pouch is clearly marked here, right? So I have something on there to let everybody know, hey, if you need to get some medical gear, this is where you're going to find that stuff. I have a dump pouch back here. This one rolls up. This is the roly-poly from Expedition. So I like to have it there where, I can fold it down, right? It's not going to be in my way all the time, like a big parachute hanging off my ass there. But if I need to deploy the bag, like, for example, I was at the tactical games, and I wanted to be like ready, right? So I took my magazine, I got all those things stuffed up, and I'm sitting there, and I'm wearing, 150 rounds of rifle ammo, and I'm wearing like 90 rounds of pistol ammo, and then the battle boss puts out like the first battle, and they're like, hey guys, you need like 5 stinking 10-round rifle mags and 5 16-round handgun mags, and I'm like, okay, handgun mags, Roger, got it. Go ahead and take those and download one off the top, and we're all set, right? But then for the rifle mags, I'm literally downloading 20 rounds per magazine into this dump pouch.
Thought you were trying to save yourself some time.
Right.
Preloading, which who would have, everyone would have.
I think most guys did, right? So then at the end of the briefing, I'm sitting there like downloading magazines into my dump pouch. But now for the entire day, guys, I'm running around with 100 rounds of 5.56 ammo, just jingling away behind me. So, I needed the bag for that specific occasion, and I had it with me because it was already rolled up and on my.
Or like you were just trying to put your magazine back in your Slickster pouch.
Right.
You really can't put none of these are. I mean, maybe the High Speed Gear one is one of the easier ones because of these plastic.
The inserts in there.
The inserts there. But that dump pouch, you go to retain your mag, dump pouch.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
and especially if it's like a partial magazine, right?
Sure.
I'm not going to put, because in my specific setup, so let's talk about like the whys and hows behind the setup, right? So when I'm going through and doing any kind of competitive shooting or a class or whatever the case may be, I'm twisted here. There we go. So when I'm going through and I got this stuff on, I always know that every time I reach for my primary emergency reload is coming right from there.
Sure.
Right? So I know exactly what pouch I'm reaching for when I'm going for that first mag. So the implied task is if this magazine, for some reason, has been used and now I don't have one there, I want to take my next available full magazine and I want to position it right there. So now I'm going to take my tertiary magazine and I'm going to stick that right into this mag pouch. So now I know where those first 2 reloads are coming from, right? My gun goes empty. I'm reaching right to my belt and I'm getting that fresh magazine up in the rifle.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about how we're positioning the mags in the pouches. I noticed this when I was at the tactical games doing some just walking around talking to guys. Not everybody has a good plan when they're putting their magazines back into their pouch.
Sure.
So something to think about here. When white light ND, that's always fun. So something to think about here. When I hit my magazine release button and I drop that magazine out of my gun. When I reach for this magazine, I don't want to be fumbling around here.
Sure.
Right? So if my magazine's facing this way, I'm going to have to pull it out and do some kind of a turn in my hand. Whereas if my bullets are facing to the rear, as soon as I grab that magazine, we're good.
Right.
Right? Because I secure the magazine, I insert it, I hit my bolt stop, and we're fighting again.
Right.
Right? So it makes sense, guys, for me to have my bullets always facing to the rear. So that every time I secure that magazine, I just go right up into my rifle, right? So we access the mag, look, it rotates right up into the gun.
Makes a ton of sense.
Right? So then with a pistol mags, it's actually the opposite way. When I reach for my pistol mag has to come out facing this way, which means my bullets have to face forward, right? So pistol mags going forward and rifle mags facing rearward. Not everybody thinks of those little detail type things until they need to.
Someone asked us last live stream, dry fire stuff you can be practicing because you really can't shoot right now. It's really hard to find ammo.
Yeah.
This stuff. Get your gear on.
Any of that.
Empty mags. Just practice exactly what Pat just did because it's important. All those little things, again, when we get into these, the whole mindset of what we're trying to do here, the firearm and shooting the firearm is like 10 to 15% of it.
Yeah.
It's an important 10 to 15%.
Yeah.
But there's so many other facets that you need to, practice and get good at.
All those little supporting tasks, right? Because one of the things that I've noticed about just shooting under stress as a general thing, the more bandwidth that I'm wasting on thinking about what's going on with my gun, how do I sort out this gear issue, right? If that stuff isn't dialed in already, then I'm going to be behind the power curve. So now I'm reactive in the sense that I don't always have the initiative. Sometimes I'm behind and I have to react to something that's dictated to me. Right. And so then I'm not only trying to react and solve a problem that I, don't necessarily know the solution for off the top of my head. I got to use some bandwidth to sort that out. If I have some other issues going on because I don't know what's happening with my gear, now I've got a serious problem. Right. So the best thing for me to do is to make sure that I know how my stuff is set up all of the time and have it set up in a way that makes sense for me. So any of the stuff that we're saying, if it seems like it doesn't make sense for you, give some of this stuff a try and figure out if maybe you need to do something a little bit different. Because the way that I set my stuff up, guys, that is a way. It is not the way. And I'm sure if we asked, 10 or 15 different people, we would probably get 10 or 15 different answers or variations. Maybe. Who knows? Some guys are going to give you everything under the kitchen sink or everything in the kitchen sink in that answer. Ty, how we doing on questions, comments?
How's the sports game going? Who's winning the match? There's football tonight, right? Or I don't know. I don't think any of us are sports people.
I know. I haven't watched the NFL since like 2016, man. They started that kneeling shit. I was like, nope, I'm good.
I like the idea of sports, like the American, like baseball, that pulls to my nostalgia. But I've never been, I'll go to a game, have fun,
it's a good
drink some
time.
beer, but I don't care enough. So sorry if you do, or whatever.
I'm not. Brandon knows I'm not.
So what? Just a couple questions. What do we recommend for smaller framed people and women? Also, we sell plate carriers, right? So essentially, what do we have for smaller framed people and women, or Brian wear?
So Brian wears a Spartan Achilles plate carrier. Brian actually has a plate carrier that's a little bit different from mine in the sense that he's got a front plate panel here and a back plate panel here. He has a little bit more material to his cummerbund because he's got like a little side pouch or side plate pouch so that he can put like ballistic panels here as well. So I've got level 4, rifle rated ceramic plates here. Brian has steel, I think at this point. No, he's got some ceramics too. Yeah. So Brian's got some ceramics up front, but he's got some steel plates on the side that are providing a little bit more protection over here.
You rock steel on the side?
I don't think you've got ceramics. Maybe he's watching.
I didn't know we had side plates.
Yeah, I think he's got some side. Well, he's got the side plate carriers. I mean, he's got the option. Right?
Okay.
So he's either got side plates or he just carries sandwiches in there.
The nice thing with smaller people and body armor is they're more protected.
Yeah.
Right?
No, because this is a 10 by 12 inch plate.
Unfortunately, like that same size plate, like they're all the same. I mean, I could get an 11 by 14, I guess. But
right.
They're so hard to find.
Same size is going onto my, chunky frame. So like
it's going to cover a little bit less if you're bigger. It's going to cover a little bit more if you're
Right.
smaller, right? One of the things I've noticed is my plate carrier used to look a little bit big on me.
yeah,
And for the past couple of months, since I've been doing a little bit more like lifting and stuff
Sure.
like that, I feel like my plate carrier is getting smaller.
hey, that's a
That's a good,
Good
problem to
problem,
have.
yeah.
No,
Like,
because
well,
it's definitely
is it a
getting
problem?
lighter too. I think so.
I was going to say a benefit of a lot of the modern body armor or load bearing or any of these kind of vests, right? They're very adjustable.
A lot of them are super modular,
Super
yeah,
adjustable and modular. So like I have a Cry Precision.
which is super nice.
The one I went with, one of my goals, so like I think I've told the story before, but when I went down to the Virginia rally, I had a Spartan armor, I think, or an AR-500, one of the original ones we had gotten that was on the more inexpensive
Budget
side of
side,
things.
right.
Yeah, and it was one that, the cummerbund is like solid moly, like it covers a lot of you, which to me made it very hot. It didn't breathe very well. And the vest itself was very heavy. Just in and of itself, it weighed like 3 or 4 pounds, I want to say, just the material. So I was looking up and Cry, which is spelled CRYE. They have a very lightweight one, the JPC.
Jumpable plate carrier.
Yep.
Yeah, very nice.
2.0, I think, is the one, which is an extremely lightweight one, very minimalist. Anybody who's come down basically since the Virginia rally in January and has seen me in a vest, that's what I've been wearing, right? So I love that one, and I got my wife Anna the exact same one, and we couldn't be like more physically opposite. Like
Right.
she's like 5'5", 110 pounds, and pretty much as tight as it would go almost. But there's still her could still get into that and wear it. So yeah, they're very. So
as far as like for smaller frame people, honestly, like if you look at my setup here, very minimalist in terms of
Mhm.
like the actual like fabric and all that stuff.
Right.
It's very, very light. Even when I went to the tactical games, we had to weigh these to make sure that they met the requirements. And the standard there is, hey, males have to weigh 15 pounds, their plate
Sure.
carriers.
Sure.
Mine weighed 16.
There
So
you
it
go.
was like right there
Right.
near the minimum amount of
Right.
weight, but I had a full pound over. And I was perfectly content
Sure.
with that
Yeah.
because I don't want to be too close to the weight. I don't want to be right at 15
Some guys are probably
pounds.
cutting off like stuff they're not using, or
Yeah. So I don't want to be that guy. I'm not that concerned about
Taking your patches
16
off,
extra ounces, right? Yeah, or anything like that. But at the same time, like it's good to know that I'm as pretty much as
Pretty
light as I
much.
can get.
because your plates are your ceramic plates are what, 8 or 7?
I think they're like
7.5,
7,
like
5, somewhere in there.
each.
Right.
So
yeah, so they're taking up most of that. This
Right.
whole plate carrier here probably weighs all of 12 ounces.
right.
So
Right.
Chase Tactical, they make some really, really good stuff. I'm not affiliated or hooked up with them in any way or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I do like their stuff. My wife has special operations plate carrier as well,
Nice.
which I bought, I think, after I had already had mine for a little bit. And
Mhm.
I just like mine so much. I said April needs one too.
Another thing I just want to interject. A lot of people think you have to get the plates themselves to rock this kind of stuff.
Sure,
And
right.
there's a ton of advantages. Obviously, that might be the primary one, but just to carry your equipment and just
Mm-hmm.
keep it in your workspace, and just it's a lot easier to carry the things you want to carry. And obviously, that's the way the military and law enforcement go. That's the best design, to carry again your radio, some medical stuff, whatever you need to carry.
Right. No,
Yeah.
it's very handy, right? Because I have everything that I need ballistic protection to that. I have the
Can
option,
do it.
right? If I
Which-
want to take the ballistic protection out, I
It's
can
really
do it.
not that much. Like back when coronavirus first hit, these guys really went above and beyond all the staff here. So I actually ended up getting ceramic plates for all the guys because I just know that's one of those things that, it's kind of a luxury item in a way that most of the guys just aren't going to pony
They're
up
not going
and-
to spring
and
for that
buy.
on their own.
Not that
right?
it's very expensive. You can get stuff, I think, for $250 to $300 for a set of both, and I would highly recommend always going ceramic. Steel is definitely cheaper, but there was a video, I can't think of what channel it was. They were just putting out some high-speed test footage of like hitting steel plates and what that spalling does. It's just, it's very dangerous. It's
Yeah.
very, I guess it's better than the bullet going
Impacting
through
your
like normal.
ribs
Yeah,
and all that
but
stuff, obviously.
if you can spring for it, go ceramic all day.
Yeah, so on this topic, these are custom armor group for S17s. These are like 180 or $200 a plate,
Mhm.
guys.
Mhm.
So $400 for a complete set of ceramic plates.
Right.
Very compliant, level 4, 10-year warranty on these guys. I mean, pretty tough to beat.
Very compliant. Made in USA.
Made in the U.S.,
Just to-
right?
just to
So,
confirm.
yeah, and they're also on the National Institute for Justice. The Department of Justice has their National Institute for Justice website, the listing of all the stuff like is eligible for government contracts and all that stuff. These guys are on that list, right? So these guys are eligible. I don't know if they have any government contracts, Custom Armor Group, but I know that their stuff is very, very good, and I like it.
Sure. Ty, what you got?
So, do you want to show like what plates and channel pads and all that stuff? You can dissect my.
Yeah, we could if we want to get into that a little bit more in depth. I'm perfectly happy to do that. So, in terms of Tyler's gear, let's spend a second here, and we'll just talk about some of this stuff. So this is the Shellback Tactical, right? Yeah, so this is the Shellback Tactical plate carrier that's available through Spartan Armor Systems. And I like the Shellback one a lot because it's got this kangaroo pouch in the front here. And Ty's got a triple mag insert in that kangaroo pouch. So you don't have to have that insert. You could have something different in there if you wanted to. He's also got some mag holders here on the side. Ty, does this cummerbund come with the carrier?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, cool.
That's
So
where I usually put my radio and a couple extra mics.
yeah, so Ty's got like some extra magazine pouches here. And you can see he's also got a little bit more like material in terms of molly and whatever else. He's got a nice drag handle here, so that's good. Very, very durable and padded straps. I really like how much padding your stuff has. So Tyler's setup is a little bit more cumbersome and bulky than mine is. But he's also got a lot more comfortable wearing experience, I'm sure. Because my plate carrier is pretty minimalist, and so it kind of sucks. Not that it sucks, but you know. So in terms of protection for your little ribs and things like that, this is actually going to go between the plate and your body. So this is actually going to help. And this is just like a little bit of foam padding here. But what it's designed to do is in the event that you take some bullet impacts here, it's going to help to disperse some of that force as it's directed against your body, right? So that will protect you against broken ribs and things of that nature. So these are ballistic armor outlet plates. These are the ones that we got through the firing pin. So thank you, Brandon, and the firing pin. These are NIJ level 4 rated. I'm reading right here off the back. This is their model 4401, and it is a swimmer's cut large plate. All right. So the reason we call it a swimmer's cut here is you can see it's got a lot of material removed here. So that way, if I have to do some sort of swimming while I'm in my plate carrier, I have freedom of movement for those arms. So just as a little reference, I'll go ahead and take my stuff off, or at least get my plate out.
I can't remember if it was you or Tyler. Someone was here the other day and they were talking to somebody about the body armor. And they were like, yeah, there's the two different kinds. You know, there's this and the swimmer's cut. And he was like, oh, swimmer's cut. And you were like, yeah, it's in case you had to swim. I think it was you.
Yeah,
like,
it was me.
Yeah, in case you had to swim with it. And he was like,
like you might have to swim with this shit.
Well,
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like that's a thing.
Like we might not, but like someone
in
might,
all likelihood,
you know?
I'm not going to.
Yeah.
But so you can see the difference here between my shooter's cut plate here in the front and Tyler's swimmer's cut plate here in the rear. So the shooter's cut plate, actually, it just says SHSC. That looked like swimmer's cut at first, but now I'm thinking maybe shooters.
It could be.
So I'm actually not 100%.
Yeah, isn't
sure.
the swimmer's cut more of the little?
Yeah, I think-
it might be.
I think these are both shooters cut. So in any rate, they're
Don't go
just
swimming.
different variations on the shooter's cut. But you can see Tyler's has a little bit more material removed here on the side, and that's to facilitate, again, ease of movement of your arms, and also to be able to facilitate getting a buttstock up against your shoulder, right? So my plates are, a little bit different, a little bit thicker as well. So you can see there's my plate, and here's Tyler's plate. Weight-wise, I would say they're pretty doggone similar. So
Here's a question. I don't know if you know this or if it's a thing. Would you replace a plate if you did go swimming with it, a ceramic one?
If I went swimming with it, no, I wouldn't. If I got it X-rayed and it was starting to show any kind of fractures, especially around like the edges and stuff like that. So they do recommend, guys, that you get these things x-rayed, I think, once per calendar year.
Sure.
And so not everybody's going to have the resources available to them to get that done. If you know an x-ray tech, I suggest like befriending them.
Yeah.
Get them to.
We should call Strong and just see what they say.
So actually, we do have a point of contact for that. That would be D-Money type questions.
Nice.
But yeah, he told me that
Not surprised.
yeah.
Yeah.
He told me that he's able to help us out there.
Have you seen the guy on the internet who x-rays the guns and he sells like art prints of
I've
like
seen
famous
different
guns?
prints like
Maybe it's not
that.
x-ray, but it's some type of imaging.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah,
I
I think
would
it's x-ray.
I would love to see
It's pretty cool.
how much something like that would cost, but it's a lot.
Oh, I'm sure. We got a gun. We should bring them out sometime. I'll have to use the lights or something, figure out a way to display them so people can see them. We actually had, when my dad was still working in Rochester, he worked for a place that did non-destructive testing in like power plants and industrial places, right?
Particle inspection,
All that kind of
like
stuff, ultrasonic inspection. But
Yeah,
they
yeah.
had a little x-ray machine, and we actually have a Savage bolt action that a guy put no fewer than, I want to say, 5 rounds through, all of them squibs.
Oh my!
Here, like one of the first years we were open, one of the first months we were open, he shot and nothing came out, and he shot again. He shot like a full, 5 or 6 round magazine out of this 22, and we x-rayed the barrel, and like there's a specific spot, we have it marked, and you can just see 4, 5, 6, whatever they are, 22 shells, squibbed up against each other.
That's scary.
It's up. It's actually hanging in the wall of the classroom. It looks very innocuous. There's no bulge in the. They're only 22s.
Right.
There's really no way you can tell. But yeah,
That's scary as heck.
Yeah, little story.
So Tyler also has attached to his plate carrier. Well, it's not attached now, but when he's wearing his plate carrier, he also has this on a drop leg mount. So you can see here it would attach onto his belt. And this is a Mira Safety. Is this the M6 or the CM6?
That is the 6. The 6. I pulled a 6 behind you.
So our Pro masks here.
Yeah.
So this is the CM6M, just like what's in Tyler's bag there. And this is from Mira Safety. So this is a military grade protective mask. And when you put it on, the rubber gasket seals right onto your face. Probably not my silly bearded face.
Somewhere out there, your former NCOs.
Somebody's losing their shit right now. Like, why didn't he shave? Never going to get a proper seal in that gas mask. So yeah, when we put this on, though, we are protected by this little filter from various forms of, chemical, biological, radiological, and whatever kind of threats. So there's different types of filtration. This one is a particle filter. So this would be more of an industrial type application, right? Not necessarily made for protecting you from like real hazardous type environments, but we do have appropriate masks.
This is their one designed more for
Viruses.
the current situation. Yeah, like it's not going to protect you from, CS gas or things, actual, the traditional things you would wear a gas mask for.
Right, mustard gas.
But maybe like the 2020 reasons you would wear a gas mask.
Right.
These are here, and we do have quite a pile of those. There's probably 15, 20 of them over there. Do you know what those run? Not to put you on the spot,
It's
Ty?
$24.99.
$24.99, and that's a standard. Like that would work on almost any gas mask, right? That's a standardized screw-on
I think
thing,
that
right?
thread pattern is pretty much universal. I think it would work
Yeah,
on those or like the
40
M40s
yeah,
or
whatever they
whatever.
are, yeah. That's been a hard thing to get. We've definitely wanted to get. Obviously, not only with the Corona situation, but everything else going on. There's been a lot of like Phil, our press buddy. He wanted to get a better gas mask, so when he's down doing his media coverage, he can be safe and protected.
Especially from that CS.
We got the gas masks before Corona.
Yeah, we did. We got a good order in just before, but they're swamped.
Oh, for sure.
So,
Yeah.
and we've been trying though. We've been trying. I don't know. I don't think we actually have any masks for sale, do we? Oh, we
I
do.
made sure to order some.
What do they go for?
Well, we have the CM6M. I'm just gonna grab some.
Sure. So yeah, we've got 2 different kind. The one that we showed over here has the full face shield, right, which is very nice. Then they have one which has two eye holes. I would say more of like a military style one, I guess.
Yeah, and the eye hole one actually works a little bit better for getting a good cheek to stock with your long guns and stuff like that.
You would think
The visor
full
one
visor
would be
one would,
better.
but just
No.
the whatever you want to call it just doesn't work well.
This is a 7M.
Yep. So there's the 7M.
And that's the one that works really well with your long guns.
And it is not ideal. I don't want to put this on only because this is like the public one.
Yeah, we have
Put it on
no
my
idea
face.
who's put that on.
But I wear glasses. It is not the most comfortable thing.
Sure.
And obviously the seal with the glasses, it's probably way worse than a beard.
I
Maybe
would
not,
think so, yeah.
it is possible. They not the best, but just I know that's a big struggle of people like myself that wear glasses. Yeah. So yeah, we've got these price tag. Sorry, $219.
No, those are more expensive.
These
They're
are
like
like 270,
230 or something.
$235 for these, the full face ones. We do have a few of those. Those are $220, right? So we've got those. We've got a few different, like this one.
And
This is a really nice one. This is a special combined filter. This one actually does. I'm trying to see where it says.
This is their CBR unrated one. So this one's
Okay.
like everything.
Chemical, biological, nuclear, right? Yeah.
The really cool thing about these guys is their 20-year shelf life. That's
That's
really like
nice.
the selling point on this. But
Yeah,
yeah,
sealed in plastic, they're good to go.
pretty
for
much
20
anything
years.
you want to throw at it, this
Yeah.
guy will take.
That's why it's $80.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Yeah.
Then they have the VK450. This is more of your, it's more of a particle filter as well. But if you live in a part of America where it's constantly on fire, like California and stuff, these work for very low oxygenated areas. I think it's like 19% oxygen.
Wow.
And they're designed for carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and smoke inhalation. VK450s are awesome.
If you're on
And
screen,
sorry,
a little bit.
the other thing we have, which I don't have an example of, unfortunately, is the Dot Pro. That is significantly cheaper, about a 10-year shelf life. These have about a 10-year shelf life. The Dot Pro is nice because it's very similar stuff. It just doesn't filter out radioactive iodine. So, you know, your thyroids get hurt a little bit.
Just stay away from Gannett.
Yeah.
Power plant.
Right.
You're fine.
Good to
We're
go.
like upwind of that anyways, so
Yeah,
we're fine
fine.
here. But yeah, so we've got those. This is something that we've been selling probably close to a year now.
Yeah.
We've had a pretty cool. Tyler definitely is our he's my favorite buyer, I guess, in the company. He tracks down some of the coolest stuff. I have to say he nailed it with Mean Arms. If you've bought a Mean Arms loader from us, that was all thanks to Tyler.
Yep.
Did an excellent job with that. The Mira, same thing. Like Tyler will just hit these people up on email or social media or whatever, and that's something that, you know, to his credit, not many people are comfortable like doing that. And they're like, what do you mean I have to call a company? Like I have to reach out to
Right.
to a human and like deal with someone? He'll do it. He reaches out. Ty, why don't you go over our newest
I was
potential
just thinking the same
partnership?
exact
I think a
thing.
lot of people are going to be interested in that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, first off, I want to answer a quick question about these the thing about glasses kept getting brought up.
You're
right?
over here. I'm going to go touch the board.
No, don't touch
I'm
my
gonna touch
board.
it.
Don't
No,
touch on my
touch it.
board.
He's gonna touch it.
It's mine. So you have to buy an aftermarket 3M makes an insert for all of the gas masks. I want to bring out the 6M. I personally like the 6M more.
Sure.
I have them both. They make glass inserts, or they make inserts that click in like here for glasses. You have to get like them framed. You have to get
It's
them
good prescription
lensed and
made.
stuff.
Yeah.
I don't wear glasses, so I don't know how that works. But they do. Yeah, I have good genes. They do make inserts for glasses. Our new product is night vision, where we're looking to get into. I'm excited about this. We had a customer come in with, I can't remember who they brought in, $6,000 pair of Gen 3. It's a monocular. I'd never looked through one personally, and when I got to look through it, I needed to have one. So I've been doing a lot of reaching out to companies about night vision and stuff, and Psionics, right?
Psionics, the makers of the Aurora camera.
Yes, they're one of the ones that we're gonna be looking to bring in. Very affordable. They do a digital, right? You
It's
you
all.
work with these people kind of.
So I'm familiar with the product a little bit more because the guy came in and Joe, and he was really excited about it. So basically, it is like full color night
Yes.
vision, right? So when you use this digital night vision camera, now when I say camera, yes, it does record video. Yes, it does take still images. It is also helmet mountable and usable as an NVG, like a proper NVG, like a PVS 14 or something of that nature, or like your GP NVGs. It's also mountable onto a rifle, just like your PVS 14 and things of that nature. So you can use it for a sight on your gun, and you can also record video through the gun sight while you're using it.
They're also saying you can stream it as well. So
Yeah, you can. It's Wi-Fi enabled,
That's
so you
awesome.
can actually go, like, if you have, good internet where you're at, your good network, you can actually connect, and you could like
Super
live
cool.
stream your full color night vision video live. So, not that anybody that does live streaming or that would ever incorporate something like that into some sort of like night shooting
Night
or
shooting.
something of that description. So I wouldn't keep your eyes peeled for that.
no.
Did you talk about the price? Like,
Yeah, so they have a couple price tiers. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. They have their two basic ones. We don't do basic here. Which is $5.99. Then they have their next tier up, which is $7.99 and
there's like the
$6.99.
Hunter
And
kit or
there's
whatever
yeah, they have
comes
this
with-
kit that's just $10.99. Biggest difference I can see between like the $10.99 one and the smaller ones is the amount of memory you can store into it.
Yeah.
Again, today's my first day researching all this stuff, so we're very in the infancy of this.
But here's the deal. So based on the conversation, we are going to need to come up with some capital in order to become dealers with these guys. So when the time comes for us to place that initial order, we're gonna look to you guys first to start taking some pre-orders so that we can, if we know that we're going to generate enough interest to meet our threshold to become, dealers with them, that's going to be driven by you guys, right? So the amount of interest that we can, and obviously we're going to have to work for it as well. Some of you guys are interested already. I'm good with that. Some of you guys are going to need a little bit more convincing. Don't worry, more to follow. We're going to put out some content, and I'm going to help you justify the expense of some of this stuff because I think it's offers some really cool capabilities, and it's way more affordable to get your foot in the door. Now, is this, PVS 14s or PVS 31s or anything like that? No, that's not what this is, right? So recognize that we understand what we are looking at and what we're kind of not looking at. We understand we're on one kind of end of the spectrum, not the really high-end military end of the spectrum.
Which I set us up with TNVG. I can't remember. Tactical Night Vision.
company. Yeah.
Cool.
I set up with we're dealers with them. So if you do want to drop
So if you want to
5K,
spend a little bit
3K,
more money, we have that
um,
option on the table as well.
hit me up.
But yeah, if you guys want to just get in kind of at the end, hopefully we're going to be generating some really cool content for you guys to kind of show what some of the capabilities.
Can't stop singing night moves now, right? So hey, that's all right.
Moons
We
out.
got a couple
moons out.
questions. Ty, I don't know if you saw in your research. Are these rechargeable?
They have batteries.
They have that. Okay,
So
you remember what kind?
They're like,
they're
three
like
volt,
weird,
CR
they're like
123.
weird camera batteries. That is one downside of them. In their package, they do also have an IR illuminated battery charger. So when
Interesting.
when you're in night, you can use your night vision to find your charger. I
That's kind of crazy.
don't know. I don't know what that was for.
And I don't know because if you're going to use it as a,
Simply speaking, you're going to want some to illuminate, right, and to be able to aim. So Hollow Sun released some really great products. I don't remember the specific name of their illuminators, but they have two different ones, and they will be very, very good. Because I know he runs the Hollow Sun illuminator. So they actually have one of
Okay,
each,
gotcha.
right? They have one that's like an IR illuminator with a flood. So it's like an infrared flashlight type deal. Lasers. That's why they got two. Another good one would be the Steiner Mall. It is kind of similar
Is it?
to the pack. Yeah, it's got two different. It is kind of similar
Is it?
to the pack. Yeah, it's got two different lasers. I think one is green visible, and then the Steiner Mall, and
But
I'll
now
check
you're
out
talking-
the D ball.
like with those Stein
Yeah.
1200 maybe even.
Yeah, but the difference is you have so many different mounting
Oh, 100%.
options
Oh,
and
100%.
yeah. So if you're looking to spend a little bit more money, they're so neat. Something weapon light, and it does a lot of different stuff. It does a lot of different cool stuff, which is what justifies the $1,000 or $1,200.
Yeah.
April's watching this right now, so I got to be very careful.
I learned that toxic trait from you, Brendan.
It's tough, man. It's tough.
Well, I got to be very careful.
I learned that toxic trait from you, Brendan.
It's tough, man. It's tough.
Well, no, I mean, sometimes you do have to spend a little bit more money, though, to get a nicer piece of,
Right.
right? Even just like credibility, as stupid as it is,
Right.
right? So there's always that balance. Do I want to go into debt for some of this stuff? Not necessarily, but
Give us your credit cards.
right?
That like last step of LARPing, you know what I mean? That is like communications is really difficult to get, which I'm really happy that we took care of all of that with GMRS and stuff. But now like night vision, that is
Able to conduct just point B,
100%.
especially out in like compromised terrain and things of that nature, right? Now add guns or small, right? Now add guns or small unit tactics or both at the same time into that equation, and you can figure out pretty quick why it's important for me to know where my friends are at and identify where the people who aren't my friends are at, and to be able to make that differentiation, right? So at nighttime, obviously that problem is much more complex.
So
Yeah.
let's go to Facebook or YouTube. We're getting some good comments over here. You know Chris Woods.
Yeah, I do know Chris.
Is
Let's
there-
go back.
Son,
We'll get
is there a limit? No, I can't read this question.
I'm sorry.
Is there a limit to the number of magazines you can carry? It's a good question.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's anybody out there right now. But even if there was a restricted number on that,
That kind of stuff.
well, what good is the gun if I can't sustain myself long enough to get? I think to have a thing and hopefully to form a more cohesive network of people that could work together to solve those problems. But in order to work together, we have to be able to communicate,
Yeah.
right? So the radio side,
Internet now.
Yeah, it's definitely not working.
That sucks. Are we still up on YouTube? I think we
Dude still records, so
are.
along.
I'm gonna link it back.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So, yeah, I guess, to echo what Matt said, it's something we've always wanted to do. We've always kind of intended on going down that formed General Lord Baden-Powell, and he would go out on military, maneuvers and battles. He fought in the Boer Wars, I think, for the Brits. He would go out there, and the military was so focused on the firearms and the fighting and the battle side of things. And, I'm sure you could speak to this as well in your experience, the actual combat side of the military. But something that we've always wanted to do, things here after hours that we've accomplished because of that, between the radio project, which I'm very proud of.
really taking off.
And, going down the path of Mira safety masks, the tactical game stuff we're doing, I think is going to be great shakedowns. And I've actually had some thoughts how we can incorporate like even more training, like do a tactical games, but also then like camp out over the weekend. But yeah, we're still out in the field. Now we got to camp tonight. We got to
Still got stuff
communicate.
to
We've got
do,
other problems to
right.
solve. Yeah, maybe there's another battle tomorrow we've got to prepare for, So
You never know,
there'd
right?
be a lot of that. Did we talk about the tactical games yet? Should we?
I don't think we've really.
people on Facebook.
Yeah, we really appreciate you guys for hanging with us and keep pumping.
Yes.
So we know that we are officially like blessed off by the. We are like blazing some new ground right now, which I really am in. I'm not going to give away too much information about any of those things. Suffice it to say that there will be 50. We realize that if the government rupture,
And for us in the end of February, beginning of March, it was obviously Corona, COVID-19, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
We realized again, there was a time, right, like when you couldn't buy toilet paper.
Yep.
There were concerns that like the government's going to be taken to the streets, and no one really knew. It was a very panicky time. I don't really know any other way to put it, but
Yep.
one of those things, and we've talked about it before on here. Communications was a big, must-have that we had to secure.
for sure.
Hence the radios. Now we have another self-reliant system that we control, that
Just
we're
a
in
means
charge
of
of.
accounting for all of our people, right? People that
Absolutely.
we're responsible for, people
Yeah.
that we care about, people that we want to make sure are safe. Right?
Yeah.
So the radios were a big part.
Information is power,
100%.
in any of those kind of situations. So I'm so proud and I'm so glad of the network that we have set up. And if you want to be a part of that, Attica 575. I've been in the Scouts. I knew the motto there.
Absolutely.
And it's just one of those things, like I was mentioning before on the YouTube side of things, when Facebook was down here, that the Boy Scout movement, the scouting movement, was born out of the military was good at the fighting side of things, but they couldn't do everything else. Once the battle was over, now you are basically camping out in the field.
100%.
And that's just, the soldiers just were not good at that. They didn't have a background in that. So that's what we're trying to bring to the table as well. You know, Pat really covers the firearms side of the house extremely well. We're trying to just fill in some of those gaps. Maybe, you know, we've talked about before getting into some land nav training, some orienteering with a map and compass. I know that's something that a lot of people expressed interest in. The medical side of things, obviously, we're going to be working a lot on that.
Yeah, we're going to be pushing more medical stuff too.
Medical stuff we were talking to, potentially like with this tactical game stuff, turning those into weekend events almost, where, you know, yeah, you do a tactical game event, and then you've got a camp too. You know, that's the battle, and now here's the rest of everything that you got to go on. So we got a lot of stuff coming down the pipe that we're excited about. But yeah, that was the, you know, that was maybe the cause for such a sudden shift of some of our different product lines that we've been getting in. Again, things that we've wanted to do for a long time, but just didn't have that impetus, and now it's certainly there. So, and you guys are supporting it, something you obviously want to see as well. So
yeah, and that was the other big thing, right? Is like the feedback from you guys is always going to tell us which direction we need to be going in.
Yep.
And so the amount of you people that are customers here in the store that responded positively to seeing the radios. Oh man, I want to get one of those. I want to make sure I have the ability to reach out to somebody somewhere to make sure that, you know, I know what's going on in the world, but also I know where I can go that might be safe, right? If I'm in a place that feels compromised.
Right.
So that was a big thing. Having the ProMax, we've sold a lot of these things too, believe it or not.
Right.
When people feel vulnerable,
Right.
they want to, they can take charge of that situation. And so we try to provide you guys with some of the different tools that you might want to have at your disposal to be able to do that.
Absolutely.
And we also try to provide some of the training and support that goes along with that stuff as well. Because it's not just having the piece of equipment, right? That's relatively useless
Right.
if you don't know how to actually employ it, right? That's one of the reasons why, you know, when we talk about the gear, it's not just, hey, here's a plate carrier, go ahead and put this thing on. No, we'll help you like properly fit it to your body, adjust it so that you know what it should feel like, so that you understand, you know, how should this thing be set up to maximize the protection for my body, right? Because there's like, I want to make sure I'm right here at my sternal notch with the top of this plate because my lungs go pretty much up to my sternal notch, right? So I want to make sure that I know where that plate needs to be positioned to provide optimum coverage, right? So that's one example. Another good example would be, how do I put the mask on to get a good seal?
We're back up there.
We're back up. Good to go.
Should I end the phone stream? It's gonna like start a third live stream, right? We're getting
It's just like streamception right now.
Streamception. We're in the stream. Can you see any of these comments? There's been like 500 comments coming.
I can't even believe how many people, like, we can't read it, and that's when you guys decide to talk to us. You're unbelievable. You're unbelievable.
So I don't know. I'm too afraid to touch it.
Yeah, I just want to see all these dang comments because I'm very interested.
Videos on Facebook now, so.
Yeah, I don't think we should start another one. I feel like that would. Yeah, sorry.
It's all on YouTube though. Like if you want to watch.
Yeah, I think the full unedited version is going to be. You know, there's going to be a little bit of a goofy part in the middle where we were like, you know,
trying to figure out what's going on.
Can you pull up our Facebook page and look at the video we're posting and just see some of the comments? I want to just.
Yeah.
I just really want to get some of this interaction.
So much.
Yeah.
That one looks so important. You just can't see what
it's so much typing.
So much. People are so passionate about people, places, and things. Just
nouns.
I guess to kill some time, I'll show everybody.
Let's talk pistol setups while Tyler's goofing off.
I pulled this. I pulled this thing. Yeah, he's fixing the computers that he broke. I pulled this thing out of the back. I totally dropped the ball. I was supposed to bring my plate carrier and my stuff tonight.
Oh,
I just totally forgot. So yeah, I've been trying to pull out some unique and interesting guns, and this RoboCop looking thing is one of them. It's either from like RoboCop or like Cyberpunk or one of those, right? This
thing is super neat.
Is a Maxim Silencer Co. Maxim 9. So I don't want to say it was the first one because I'm sure there was something made 100 years ago when suppressors were unregulated. But this is the first modern, fully enclosed, all-in-one suppressed handgun. So this is made by a company called Silencer Co. They're legendary for their suppressors that are, you know, traditionally thread on.
Right. But
this one is all integral. It's all built in. The only thing you could do is make these baffles shorter. You could take some of these sections out in the middle.
Oh, cool.
I'm actually just going to step a little closer just so I can show it in more detail here. I don't have any feedback on the main camera, but so yeah, there it is. So yeah, what's that?
We've just been zucked.
Sorry, yeah, it happens. But yeah, pretty cool. There's the front of her, right? Pretty fun to shoot. This is the Maxim, M-A-X-I-M, Maxim 9 by Silencer Co. I want to say they run like 1300, something like that. So it's one of those things. And the nice thing is it takes Glock mags, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, it's pretty fun. I could do this maybe in a few more years of, not that there's anything wrong with it, but it just needs some more field time, I would say. But I could see this being a huge benefit to, say, police departments, things like that, where, you know, those guys, if they're inside of a house, they shoot off their handgun, they're gonna get some hearing damage. You know, now you've got, you know, workman's comp, you've got disability, you've got things like that you're gonna have to deal with just as an employer, you know, things like that. Or if you lived in a state, this would be a great home defense pistol. Now you don't have to, again, worry about putting on hearing protection. It's all one package built in. But yeah, it certainly does look. I just love how it looks. That's why I bought it. I'm a sucker for anything like this. You know, we should show them too is that Iron Horse.
Oh yeah.
Maybe save that for next week. Yeah. For those of you that aren't familiar, the company Blackwater, or I don't know if it's actually Blackwater themselves. I think it is.
I don't know if it's the same Blackwater or a different Blackwater.
It looks like the same logo.
Yeah, I think it might be the same like
brand.
private
Whoever.
contracting company.
They came out with a firearm design, actually a very innovative, you know, there's very little true innovation lately. It's just small minor tweaks to things. I mean, we just hit that plateau of technology as it is till we get to like laser weapons and shit like that. So they, instead of having your trigger where it normally is, it's actually on the back of the receiver and you use your thumb to actuate it. Look it up. We'll do a whole video. We're getting kind of late in the evening now and the stream got a little messed up. We'll do a better one. We'll do maybe a review. Maybe you can go out to the range and do some work.
I think we should definitely like accuracy test it against another lower, and to keep everything the same, we'll even just swap uppers.
Sure.
Right? Yeah. Because I really want to see. So with this specific gun, guys, when you're pressing the trigger, you're actually just pushing forward with your thumb instead of pressing to the rear with your index finger, where I've got this hinge point here happening. Right. If I'm just pushing forward with my thumb, I'm getting like virtually no movement in the gun, left, right, up, down, whatever. Yeah. So when I press with my thumb, the gun isn't going to be disturbed by that press. So I'm just going to go ahead and push with my thumb. The gun's going to go off. It's going to settle right back to the exact same spot. And I should be very, very accurate just actuating that trigger with my thumb. It
looks absolutely ridiculous though, because it's just like a rectangle that's your lower, and then a pistol grip just hanging. It just looks so weird without having the trigger guard and the trigger. It just looks very strange. But again, it's innovative. It's something different. That's why we got it in. I saw a blog post somewhere that, you know, originally when they introduced them, you had to buy the complete rifle, which is close to like $2,000, I want to say. And I wasn't that interested, but you can buy just the lower for like $500. And I was like, that's interesting enough that I'll get that. And we can, because the upper doesn't matter really, you know, they didn't do anything innovative. Yeah. And it just, I think all they did was stylize it so it looked good together, same, you know? Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool.
That is very, I got to shoot one in PA and I thought it was pretty weird. Like the first time you pick it up, you don't know what's going on. So you look at it, it's like, wait, where's the safety again? Like, what's going on here? So you push the safety forward and then it's like, this stupid thing. Yeah. Push the trigger and it's like, now I get it.
It's like most new things, you know, there's that, like, it's like when the new hot, like, pop song comes on the radio, you're like, that's the dumbest song I've ever heard. Then like a week later, you're out there, like, loving it.
Jamming down the road. Yeah, no, it's pretty much like that.
Oh, man. It couldn't have been more dad right there.
I know. We're the worst.
Tyler's over there.
Dancers.
Cringing, crying over there. So did we get any comments that you want to address? Could you get those at all?
Nothing.
Just everyone. All those comments are just.
I honestly think, because one thing we don't see on our end of the view is like, blah, 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 join the chat. This person is watching with you. Invite your, like,
gotcha.
It does that on their end. On our end, we don't
like
see any of that. So I think you were seeing how you join the chat.
Well, so we'll go back through and we'll review some of the comments. And as you guys know, we typically try to like answer some of that stuff like later on down the road.
Yeah.
So if we didn't get to you guys right now, don't be too upset with us. We'll get to you.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, if you have any more questions for, if you have tonight that didn't get answered, obviously we're going to do this again next week as well.
Yeah, please. Like if throughout the week, if you have ideas or suggestions or questions for one of the, like, if you can't watch the live stream live to ask it, please send them to us. Throw us a Facebook message. Even just leave a comment on the live stream. We still get them. Send us an email. We'd happy to take any questions. It's always nice. It's always nice having a few going into the live stream because sometimes we don't get questions or
right away.
Yeah, or sometimes questions are one word answers, just something so simple. Oh, that was the phone. That fell.
So another thing that we had talked about hitting on, and if it's all right with you guys,
oh man,
I just
sorry
want to
about that.
real quick. So as far as handguns, remember we were going to talk about like different pistol setups and all that stuff. So Brandon got his in there, and I wanted to show you guys a couple of my handguns as well. So this is my, what up?
My fishing trip got canceled.
Oh,
dang. So does that mean you're working tomorrow?
Well, I stopped to see if maybe I could help you guys out with.
Tyler broke the internet.
Yeah,
No,
Tyler
Tyler
broke
broke
it.
the internet.
Brandon touched the board for 5 minutes, and everything went haywire.
I was just doing my normal thing, and these guys, I don't know, they messed it up.
Did you guys eat
Todd, yes, we will see
No,
you
they're
Sunday,
okay.
buddy. We have a lot of people. I think like 40 or 50 people coming to that. Stop this. I'm just kidding. We've certainly got a good group of like 10, maybe a few more than 10 people coming to that Stop the Bleed. Todd up there in the comments, one of our awesome customers. He is very generously. We have a group of well, actually, we have a Discord, and in that Discord group, if you're in the Discord, there's a lot of special opportunities. Like Pat is doing an amazing carbine class coming up that is going to be unlike
Beyond
anything
full.
anybody's done around here. And it's beyond full. We only released it to people in the Discord. That was the only way you would have heard about it. It filled right up in about 10 minutes. I don't even think it took that long. I'm going to try to reposition.
I'm gonna have to do
my
so
phone.
many more of those.
No!
classes.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
I'm trying to like balance my phone on our camera. Like, just not going to work. Yeah, I'm just going to stand here. I'm going to be the mount. So
So Brandon is our tripod now, so that's cool.
my college.
Gas mask for kids. Show them the mirror safety.
Gas mask for kids.
That's for
They're so creepy.
Not that it should exist, but yeah, it does.
But it does
There you go.
exist.
Little Mickey Mouse. I would highly suggest, as the parent of a 3-year-old, I would suggest making a game out of that now. That's not something that like in a panic, if you had to put that on, you're grown up, like you're old.
I
Like,
don't wanna
Sean's
sit
gonna be
here
okay or whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, like
Sit here and fight with you for 10 minutes.
right, like my 3-year-old's gonna freak out. So like I'm not gonna say that she likes putting that on, but we have tried to make a game out of it. Like we have one.
Yeah, you just have to
try
pretend that you're an elephant.
That literally is what we
That's
did,
what-
and she loves it. She thinks
that's
it's the
what you
funniest
do,
thing now.
Yeah, no,
She'll,
that's great. I'm an
she'll,
elephant.
Boing, boy, it's probably super bad for it. But she'll like bounce it and stuff.
so you
Yeah,
rip
she-
it.
whatever. Little kids, their thyroids are fine. You just take an extra iodine tablet.
You don't need that.
It'll be good to go. So, handgun, right? So I wanted to talk a little bit to you guys about my handguns. As far as my pistols, I got a couple of Glocks with me. I got the Glock 45 here in my hand. I'll hand it to Josh. And then I have a 17 here. Now, a couple things about these guns that are not standard on most of your Glock pistols. So I have 2 flat-faced Overwatch precision triggers. You can see polymer DAT right here, and you can see the aluminum DAT right here. So these are both the defensive application triggers, and they have a 5.5-pound pull, just like a standard factory Glock trigger. The only difference is has reduced pre-travel and take-up, and it's a much cleaner break.
And it's flat.
And it is flat-faced as opposed to the round face of traditional Glock triggers, which I really am into. I'm very excited about flat triggers on my hand.
We're all about flat triggers.
You got to have flat triggers on the handguns, boys. So as far as sighting setups on these guns, they're very, very similar. Again, I have 1-dot night sights on this. I'm gonna flag myself just like that, so we can see. Hopefully, you guys can see. I have 1 tritium dot in the front there, and I have a blacked out rear sight. So reason for the 1 tritium dot there, and for Brandon, can you bring that back?
Of course.
And for the 1 green fiber optic dot on the front sight there. The reason that I have blacked out rear is because I don't want to be paying attention to my rear sight. I want to be paying attention to my front sight because that's where my muzzle is and that's where bullets come from. So, yeah, sights. Yeah. So I want to put that little bullet hole right in line with my target. So I get that front sight right on that target, and then I press my trigger, and magic happens.
Awesome.
So I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want
60%
anything
of the
too
time.
busy. 60% of the time, it works every time.
You know, we got a good idea, Pat, maybe for down the road.
Sure.
Mike asks about rifle buttstocks, function, comfort, things to think about when purchasing. That could be a whole live stream.
There's a lot of them
You
out
could
there.
Yeah.
do a lot. Yeah. You know what? Just based on the ones that we all have on our own guns, I'm sure that we could bring in, because I've got like an SBA 4, I've got like a mil spec one.
Yeah.
We've got some guys with LaRue ones. We've got some guys with cool Magpul ones.
Yeah.
We could probably do a whole live stream on Magpul only.
Oh,
Between
yeah.
the CTR and the SLK and
Sure.
all of the different ones that they have.
Hit up some of the guys in Discord again, see
SLR,
if they've got something
Yeah.
different. Yeah, they're just one of the reasons we have a hard time stocking some of that stuff too. There's just so many options. There's a million and one different options,
And they're all so
stocks,
subjective, and they're all so ultimately they're similar,
yeah,
right? Ultimately, the main differences are how much of a cheek, how much of a riser do I have, how much area do I have to place my cheek, how many different mounting attachments do I have for slings,
What kind of storage?
do I have any kind of battery storage? Those are the things that vary from one to the next. And so I'll just say for me individually, I don't worry about battery storage on my buttstock or anything like that. I know it can be handy and it's waterproof and whatever else, but at the same time, that's what admin pouches are for and stuff like that.
Yep.
So
And the dangler.
right, and the dangler and all of that. I don't need to worry as much about battery storage on my stock.
I don't know if it'll come through in the stream, but one of the Chinooks is flying like right overhead.
Sound of freedom.
Or not.
Definitely a Chinook. They fly- It's so cool. They fly right overhead like all the time.
Finally
I always
come.
think your cousin Tyler's like sitting in one and like waving at us, like whipping us the bird or whatever. Yeah, sometimes they'll fly so low they'll like shake stuff in here. You like feel it. It's so cool.
What phone do you have?
What phone do I have?
Just so I know not to get it because the camera is bad.
Oh wow! Well, it's the front camera. There's nothing you can do.
Cold blooded.
Yeah.
Why are you being so rude?
What kind of phone do you have?
There's not even any-
Are you okay, buddy?
I was hurt today.
It's a cool shirt. Show your shirt. Moons out, goons out. I like that.
You know, Pat talked about it that one stream. I had to steal his idea. and-
Yeah. There you
That
go.
wasn't even my idea, honestly. So, Mrs. Cooper, I just wanted you to see me enjoying this delicious donut.
There
My
you go.
grandma.
Yeah. Thanks, Marianne.
Mhm.
You're the best.
Thank you. As promised, donut on the live stream.
Pat, what's a good pistol training tool that we use? Maybe,
So
maybe
the
besides
Mantis-
the handgun.
The Mantis X is a pretty neat tool. I'm probably going to get that thing out tomorrow and play with it a little bit more. The one thing I would say about the Mantis X, guys, is there's no holster. The problem with it is it attaches onto the rail of the gun. So there's no holster options available for it. So it's one of the reasons that I don't do a lot of dry fire stuff with it, because most of the handgun work I do involves my holster on some level.
Yeah.
I think it just holster it to make us a custom one. If
That would be,
possible.
yes. If we could get something custom done for the Mantis, that would be super cool, because then we would actually have.
Maybe just for people that don't know, could you give a brief rundown of what it is, what that does?
Yeah, so basically it's like the iPhone kind of app thing. You know, you can get the iPhone app with the little laser cartridge that comes out of your bore, and you just point
Shoot
the
at your
gun.
phone.
Yeah, you shoot at your phone. So it's kind of the same deal, right? You get like your tablet, or there's a smartphone app, and you use it in conjunction with this little laser that mounts under your gun on the rail. And when you mount this laser, it actually is tracking from the time that the laser is oriented toward the screen. It's tracking all of the movement in the gun.
It's doing this all over the place.
Yeah, and they have a lot of different little drills and time stuff that you can, exercises that you can do. And I've actually done like a little exercise with it at SHOT Show, and it was super cool because it scores your hits,
Right.
but it also shows all of the trigger,
Yep.
all the movement in your sights from you like staging your trigger or whatever else you're doing.
Yeah.
And it really holds you account. Yeah,
Yeah.
when you're
Right.
Pulling to the one
Anticipating,
side.
whatever's going
Another.
on with your mechanics, it's super precise at diagnosing those kind of
A
issues.
couple of the guys, Vince in the comments and Mike, they're asking if it would. Vince says it works fine in a light-bearing holster for most people. So maybe that's something we could try too. Just get something made to have a light on it. It might not work the best.
I was gonna
but-
say, because like my TLR1 holster and stuff like that, it retains on the light.
yeah,
So whenever I try to put my
So
gun
it's-
in the holster with no
it's
light on
in
it,
there, but it's
it's
not
in there, but it's not actually retained.
loosey goosey in there.
Right?
Yeah,
So that's a good work around. I appreciate you sharing that info. I'll give it a try and I'll see, how that shakes out.
I'm sure that they can make
James Robinson,
Mhm.
what do you
Yeah.
think of laser? I think he meant laser snap caps for dry fire. Pretty similar idea.
I think
you
it's
know,
pretty much the same. Yeah.
giving you that visual feedback.
right.
Yeah, the one thing you're going to be missing there, James, is going to be the computer software that's going to really analyze and get down in the weeds on some of the finer points of that stuff. But I think for most of you guys, honestly, just having a laser just to track the amount of movement in the sights when you're pressing that trigger, that's probably going to be good enough to get you going. And it's probably going to open your eyes to a lot of different stuff, and it might get you more engaged with dry fire, right? So incorporating any of those tools, I think once you start to realize what's actually happening behind the gun, it's so hard to tell because sights are very big.
Sure. Right.
So it's hard to detect minuscule movements in the gun behind the sights. When you can see it on a laser, the laser is not going to lie to you.
Right.
The sights can fool you a little bit. The laser is going to show everything.
Jeremiah Prine says to
Yep.
bring you, Pat, a dozen donuts from Paula's Donuts. I don't,
Paula's donuts,
Paula's.
those are big
Paul,
donuts.
Paula's is the best.
I don't think
They're very good. I don't know if I could eat a whole dozen. I'll give it a shot.
There you go. And Mike says that Safariland will retain on the barrel and the ejection port. So maybe a Safariland would work.
Okay.
I think specifically an
Potentially.
ALS, so
ALS
Yeah, like
Yeah.
an ALS for like a Surefire X300 or something.
makes
like that.
sense. Yeah, because that little Mantis thing is pretty small,
Mhm.
relatively speaking. It's a little,
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. So yeah, no,
It's a
thank
good
you
tip.
guys for sharing those tips, because if I can incorporate some of that stuff,
But it
I
would be
love
cool
do
to
it.
partner up with Just Holster It, because there's a lot of people that own those Mantis devices or Mantis.
Right.
What is it, Mantis or Mantix?
I think it's Mantis X. Actually.
Mantis X. There's a lot of people that own those. Maybe they can come out with a
A
new
line of-
holster, yeah,
right.
just
Sure.
specifically for that. Because
No, and that would be great because it's if you use Just Holster It stuff anyway, it's a really good analog for holsters that you're already using.
they're not that expensive. They're like
They're like $52. They're
Yeah.
great holsters too. Yeah, absolutely.
So cool.
Why do we have all this stuff? Why don't we just-
Yeah, we've got all this stuff that we can't use.
We've never
all
actually been
these-
able to show everybody all
Oh
of our
man, yeah,
equipment.
it's kind of cool. I wish you could. I don't know. I'm stupid. Here we go. I'm gonna switch the camera around. Here's like our setup. So I'm gonna step out so the lights don't. Here's like a behind the scenes look.
In front of scenes.
Yeah.
Right.
This is what's going on out in front of the cameras.
The only thing missing is the black leather couch, but we've got pretty much
That's
everything.
that's on order.
We've got everything. Here's Ty. Here's Ty's little.
The old one just
Station
got
over
so
here.
dirty.
Right.
Pre-COVID.
So yeah, this is our- here's our main setup. Right. Let me switch back over here. See if I can do it. Oh man, sorry. Hi. All right. So yeah, I don't know what else. Josh, we gotta get you on here more often.
Yeah, Josh needs to be a bigger part of these. I always feel like he's left out.
We were talking about handgun setups, right?
Yeah, you got a cool handgun you want to show?
Well, I have my 43
Oh, dude, that's a super cool handgun.
in my spider
You guys are killing me.
concealment inside the waistband appendix rig.
Jeremiah, we definitely want to do a podcast. We were actually trying to figure out how to basically just like scrape the audio from these and just upload them as is. It kind of sucks because it is obviously a visual show, but we'd love to just take this and do one. We'd also love to do just a straight up audio only like podcast, just sit around, tell some stories,
Drink some
you know,
bourbon.
yeah, drink some alcohol and just have some fun. I've pitched this before, like Jeremiah, if you want to come out here or if other people want to come out here and do their own live streams or podcasts, like we have all the equipment. We've got literally like several thousands of dollars worth of equipment. So come on out and use it. You know, it doesn't have to be gun related per se. That would be nice. But, you know, as long as there's not too many tentacles, you can do whatever you want.
Absolutely.
Is there such thing as too many tentacles?
I don't think so.
I knew that was coming.
Sean, the range has been open. Yes. Well, not like right this minute. But in general, yes, the range is open. Come on down.
Shawn Michael.
Shawn
Good.
Michael.
He's one of the ones that had our backs during the whole radio fiasco.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
comments
thank you,
on a lot of
Sean.
our
He had our
stuff.
back.
And
Thank
he
you,
follows me
Sean.
on Instagram and stuff. So thanks, Sean. We appreciate all of the support, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. So cool. How are we feeling? It is getting kind of late. Why don't we save handguns maybe for next week? Josh, you want to try to like
Sure.
just abandon your family? You just
Yeah.
you're fine.
So next Thursday, guys, topics, right? Let's nail some down. Let's do handgun setups. We can talk a little bit about Josh's handguns and some of the stuff that he likes or some of the stuff that he looks for, some of the stuff that maybe he's doing to trick out his own guns. And
Very
maybe look at some
similar
of
to
Tyler
what
stuff.
you're doing.
Yeah, I would imagine most of our stuff is going to be, pretty similar
Flat triggers,
for reasons.
orange front sights.
Yeah,
That's what matters to me a lot.
very visible front sights and flat triggers. And then
Cool.
any questions that we get that we didn't get a chance to get to from this, we'll obviously try and hit them next time around. And I also talked a little bit about my clay carrier setup. Maybe next week you can talk a little bit about your stuff. too.
Again, very similar. But yeah, I can bring mine in.
Yeah, I was joking. Like when me and you and Dan and Joe all get together with our stuff. Yeah, it looks like we're wearing a uniform essentially.
So
like
the only thing I was going to bring up from earlier, we were talking about body armor stuff. I was just at the only mandate. There's only one actual like hard rule about any plate carrier, body armor, anything. You know what it is.
Has to be Ranger.
Has to be Ranger
Ranger
Green.
Green.
Like, I don't care. I don't care if you live in Alaska or if you're, urban, whatever. It doesn't
Ranger
matter.
Green or die.
Ranger Green or die.
till death.
I knew it. I knew
Ranger
it.
Green on the holsters
Only-
and
yes,
everything.
it's
Like
the only
I
way
can't
to
even
go.
get my RTI off right now.
There you go. Look at that.
Ranger Green
It's the only
all day.
A couple last things. Vince Mullen says, Pat, you should hit him up if you have any Mantis questions. He's been using one for a while. So if you're,
Yeah, and
when
you
you
know
get into
what?
the
I
weeds
might do
there-
that. Vince actually came to a pistol class I put on a few weeks ago. Really good shooter, and he said he did a lot of dry fire practice leading up to class. So I'll definitely be hitting you up because I think your dry fire practice is working for you. buddy.
Mike asked Iron Ear Pro. He hates cheap frames. We do have some stuff over here. We'd like to get some better stuff in. I've always been impressed with Wiley X. They sell a pretty
Wiley X makes good
affordable. Yeah, like it's not that much, but they're very nice. That could be a whole other topic.
I've been running the same pair of
obviously
Oakleys for
Peltor.
3.5 years as far as like
Oakleys,
iPro. They make some really good stuff. It's been very durable for me. Josh, you really like my Peltor Range Guard
stuff. I do.
hearing
Yep,
protection.
I do.
I've also used the Howard Light ones. I like those okay.
Not a huge fan of the Howard Lights. I have a set. I like them, but I don't feel that they seal to my head.
To your head as well,
much as I
yeah.
would like them to.
Yeah, so I would say I like my Peltors the most. I would say Howard Lights for me are probably number 3 because I would say that number 2 is going to be the Walkers.
The razors.
Yeah, I really like the Walker
Walker's
razors.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
YouTube. I have YouTube question.
Nice.
If you want.
Hit it.
Yeah, by all
Yeah,
means.
please.
We are at like our hour and a half, so
100%.
Sure.
Christopher Woods, like our only active YouTube.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. He says, how should I'm going to censor this a little bit, a larger guy like himself concealed carry? What is the best for bigger dudes?
So I would consider myself a bigger dude. I'm 6 foot, 245 pounds. I'm not
That's
small.
bigger.
I'm not, in shape. I'm not, a fit guy. And I carry my 43 right here inside the waistband.
Might be a little NSFW there.
Appendix.
No, I'm just kidding.
Appendix carry inside the waistband. It can be done.
If you can't do that, pocket carry. I know a lot of people crap on it, but it's a
You
method.
got a gun on your body.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's-
it's not the way, but it's a way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
The other thing too, something to keep in mind, Chris. So for me, I always tell everybody as somebody who teaches this stuff, I want everything to be kind of forward of my hips
Sure.
in
Accessible.
general, because it's going to be more accessible there, right? Something to think about. Josh, go ahead and try to like arm drag me a little bit. So if I'm trying to reach behind me, Josh is going to be stronger pulling me that way than I am reaching back this way, right?
You're very strong.
I am a very strong man. That's true. But so even so, if I'm like trying to get back here, generally speaking, he's going to have better control of this arm than I'm going to have. So the other thing too is if he wants to keep me from accessing his gun off of his belt line right now, he's got 2 hands, he's got his feet, he's got a lot of air opportunity to protect that gun. He can also curl up into a ball around it. Like as shitty as a situation as that would be, not every situation is going to call for you to get the gun out. Some situations are going to call for you to protect the gun from unauthorized access. And if I have it back here someplace, somebody takes an angle on me, I'm hosed.
Or
right?
if we go to the ground, right? If you're carrying at the 3 o'clock or maybe small the back, if we go to the ground and
You're
now
gonna
Pat's
land
on me
on your
trying to
gun.
hit me, if I'm trying to block my face, how am I supposed to get my gun if it's, all the way back here?
That's why
At least if it's up here, I can use one hand to block my face. I can still access that bad boy if I have to.
So yeah, just carrying, generally in front of your hips is going to be the best option if possible. The pocket is still okay. Anything behind you, Chris, and especially, if you are a bigger dude, flexibility being, our human joints can only move so far, right? So if that gun is behind you someplace, could be very tricky to access that thing.
Sure.
Or it could be very difficult for you to keep somebody else from accessing it away from you. And that's another important thing.
What else can you do for ground game?
Jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu.
Right.
Absolutely.
Train jiu-jitsu. That's what you should do.
I get. If we don't have anything else, we do have one more. Steven, yes, absolutely. His stepdaughter would like to go to the range with him. She's 14. Yeah.
Good to go.
Come on
Absolutely.
down. New York State law says you got to be 12. So as long as you're over 12, good to go. Come on down. And yeah, I guess with that, sorry for the
giveaway.
Oh yeah, the giveaway.
The giveaway.
Ty.
The Baofeng. Last week we had a great question that kind of segmented all of our discussion today. So Jamie Lynch, you asked about small frames and females and gear setups in general. So your Baofeng, this is yours now. It's all pre-programmed, so we thank you for that.
Congratulations.
And thank you for everybody for being active.
Yeah, very
You know
cool.
what? I might give away another one. I'm definitely going to give away a second one. I have one, maybe two more people that I think are also worthy of one of these. I appreciate you for being in the chat.
Nice. Love it.
All right, guys. Great show, everybody here. And thank you guys so much for participating and joining us. Sorry about the technical issues tonight, but
It's Brandon's fault. Don't touch my board, bro.
Oh man. All right. See you everybody. Love
bye,
you.
guys.
See you next week.
Have a good night.
Finish.